What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motion, RestoredMotions.com, and ProChargeEV, ProChargeEV.com. Okay, y'all. Hope your day is off to an awesome. The SEC has released the full 2024 football schedule. So we have the full schedule grid. We knew already who everybody was going to play, right? Your non-conference games already set. And then the league had previously announced the opponents for everybody. So like we knew LSU was going to host Oklahoma. We knew Mississippi State and Auburn were coming off the schedule, unfortunately. We knew LSU was going to play Vandy, South Carolina. So like, we already knew who LSU was going to play. What we didn't know was sort of the when. So I often say it's not just who you play, but when and where you play them. Particularly when you talk about NFL, right? Playing Green Bay on the road in September is a lot different game than playing Green Bay on the road in December, for obvious reasons. So, yeah, not only who you play, but when and where you play them. Specifically, when you're talking about college football or the SEC, you know, the when and where you play them is very relevant because of the order of your schedule. Think about usually teams will have a 3 or 4 game gauntlet where you have back-to-back road conference games. And look at Arkansas a year ago, which is probably a great example. Arkansas didn't play a home game for like 5 weeks. They played. Here you go. They opened up against. If you remember this schedule, it was crazy. Like they opened up against West Carolina, then Kent State, and then BYU. So they were home for 3 games. And then they went at LSU, A&M in Dallas, at Ole Miss, at Alabama, and then they finally returned home for a game against Mississippi State. But they were gone they played a home game September 16th, didn't have another home game until October 21st, so more than a month. So again, not just who you play, but when and where you play them that matters. So let's run through the LSU schedule real quick. By the way, if you were listening to AFR on Tuesday, I made my prediction on the LSU schedule. And if you've been here for any length of time, you know sometimes I tell you the story without telling you the story. So yeah, I might have been able to coerce someone into allowing me to take a glance at it before it ever went live. Or maybe I just guessed really, really good. Okay, here we go. So LSU is going to open up on Sunday, September the 1st in Vegas against USC. Then they come home 6 days later and play Nicholls. So this is the 3rd consecutive year they've done that. They've opened on a Sunday and then come home to play the FCS opponent. Of course, last season it was Southern. This season was Grambling. Next season it's Nicholls. So Vegas on Sunday against USC. The headliner there, of course, the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, both will be gone. So both teams will be working in new quarterbacks. So then you're home against Nicholls, and then you're on the road at South Carolina week 3. No Spencer Rattler, so they'll have a new quarterback there in Columbia as well. And interesting year for Shane Beamer. That's going to be one where out the chute, LSU's got to go up there and get that done. That's one of those tone setters for your season. If you lose a conference game in September, boy, that is really, really hard to overcome because of what you have ahead. So If you're able to beat South Carolina, you come home and play UCLA, and then you play South Alabama. So September's brutal. You got 5 games in September. One of them is a road conference game. One of them is a neutral site game. Another Power 5 non-conference at home. One of them is on just 5 days rest, so 6 days after going to the West Coast. So it's challenging. But you're probably, I don't know about SC, but you're probably favored in all those games. I'll remind you about UCLA. Of course, Dante Moore transferred out. They just lost. USC hired away UCLA's defensive coordinator, so their defense, which was so good this year, lost its defensive coordinator. So new quarterback, new defensive coordinator. Will be really interesting. And LSU has him a little payback from 2021. So if you can get through September unscathed, you really set up nicely. And look, you got a game against Nichols and a game against South Alabama, but you also have a road conference game. You have a neutral site road game out west, and you have a home Power 5 non-conference game after going on the road in the SEC. So it's not easy, but if you get through September 5-0, you remember 2 buys, because of the way the schedule sets up, you'll have 2 open dates this year. So you get an open date before you host Ole Miss. Now, Ole Miss won 10 games this year. I presume Jackson Dart's going to be back next year again. And I'm assuming Ole Miss is going to be one of the top 15, if not top 10 team in the preseason next year. So you're going to get an open date before you get Ole Miss at home. Then you go to Arkansas, which Arkansas is going to be a disaster. I don't see Sam Pittman saving his job. Look, it's never easy to go play up there. We know the nature of that game, how it always goes, but that's just not a good team. And then you go at Texas A&M, first year, Mike Elko, again, another team that is going to be in a wholesale rebuild where they have lost not just players to the portal, they have lost starters, like their best players. So that's your only back-to-back road games is when you go back-to-back at Arkansas, at Texas A&M. And my goodness, I'll take it, especially because after that A&M game is your second bye before you go to Bama. So you'll go the 5 tough games in September, right, the way that it's structured. Open date, home against Ole Miss. So you get an extra week to prepare for Ole Miss. Then your back-to-back road conference games are at Arkansas, at A&M, which is manageable. Then you get another bye to get ready for Bama in the home stretch. So you play Bama at home, and then you got to go to Florida. But I'll tell you, one of my bold predictions, I don't think Billy Napier gets to that LSU game on November 16th. I think he'll be fired by then. More of that in a second. And then after you play Florida, you're home against Vanderbilt, home against Oklahoma. Again, Oklahoma loses Dylan Gabriel. Now, they're probably looking at it going, well, LSU loses Jaden Daniels, which is true. But the more Brent Venables has turnover, the more we find if he's able to sustain success there. I guess, look, when you look at it, under a magnifying glass and you see, man, Bama, Oklahoma, at Florida, USC, UCLA, you go, God, what a schedule. That is tough. And it's true. The other part of it is for the home fans, Bama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, UCLA, Vandy. But point is, you got a really good home schedule next year. But so you look at that and you go, man, it's tough. And it's true. But it's why I always stress the when and where, not just who you play, but when and where you play them. Because the way the schedule lays out, it actually lays out in a favorable way for LSU. So I like it. If you can get through September, if you cannot stub your toe in the opener the way you have the last 3 years, UCLA, Florida State, if you can beat SC in Vegas, you'll come home and beat Nichols. Go to South Carolina and win, where you're going to be a road favorite there. Then, man, you come home against UCLA, which I get it's tough, but they got their own questions, and now they're coming to Baton Rouge. And then you get South Alabama before an open date. I mean, if you get through September 5-0, you got an extra week to prepare before you play Ole Miss. Back-to-back manageable road conference games. Arkansas, Texas A&M, good, good place to play all that stuff. But teams that are going to be going through a challenging year, you would assume. Then another open date before Bama at home. And then you're at Florida, which I don't know Napier makes it there. And then home against Vandy, home against Oklahoma. It kind of plays out well. So as for Florida, I mentioned I don't think Napier makes it there. Look at Florida's schedule, y'all. Ooh, boy. They open up with Miami. Then they play Samford. Texas A&M at Mississippi State, open date. Central Florida, which is, of course, now in the Big 12. At Tennessee. Kentucky, second open date. Georgia and Jacksonville moves to November, by the way. At Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, at Florida State. So they get Georgia to neutral site. They're at Tennessee. Their non-conference games are Miami, Florida State, UCF, and Samford. But Miami, Florida State, UCF. Hang on one second. Drew's back next week. Sorry, I'll be back. Anyway, my point is, Billy Napier may not make it to November. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Okay, let's get to y'all. I wanted to run through that first. I know a lot of people were interested, so the schedule release was last night. Okay, let's say some good mornings. Get that kick. So I hope y'all having a good day too, man. It should be a real fun day. We got the Calandro's Rare Whiskey Raffle is tonight. Always a great event. We appreciate everybody who comes out to that. Of course, the proceeds benefit from all the ticket sales, benefit the 4Kids Foundation, the Emerge Center, and St. Lillian Academy. So we really appreciate Calandro's for stepping up all these years and helping get the word out, and you'll benefit financially St. Lillian. So if you buy raffle tickets, all the proceeds from the raffle tickets go to those charities. And obviously, if they pull your name, then you get it's the opportunity to purchase a really rare whiskey at fair retail. All right, there we go. All right. Trying to get my sneaks on, y'all. Anyway, okay. All right, let's say some good mornings. Caleb Brignac, Oklahoma finishes their season playing Alabama, LSU back-to-back. Welcome to the SEC. Alan Owings, next season is going to be wild, SEC-wide. The thing that makes it obviously different than any other year is in the modern era, in the last quarter century, is scrapping divisions, right? So because you're not going to have division play, you're not going to have East-West. It's going to be just who has the top two teams overall in the SEC will play in the SEC championship game. So in theory, like LSU and Bama could play in the SEC championship game after playing in November, and I think you're going to see that a lot. Like in the Big Ten, most notably, I think you're probably going to see Ohio State and Michigan play that final weekend, and because they're scrapping divisions too, and then play a week later in the Big Ten championship game. And so people are going to say, well, that's so stupid, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, the stupid thing is the conference championship game, which has never been anything. I mean, it's funny how, not funny, haha, so for years have said all these things. And it's finally coming to roost, and I can now illustrate it. Like I've always said, conference championships are nothing but a giant money grab. Roy Kramer started it in the SEC back in 1992. It worked. Everyone else followed suit. But there is literally no reason whatsoever to have a conference championship game. You play a full regular season, crown a regular season champion based on your regular season results. And you have a series of tiebreakers, etc., like every other league. In the NFL, they don't have the NFC South Conference Championship game. No, you play a regular season schedule, and whoever's got the best record wins the division. And that's how you set up your postseason. But because the SEC or college football doesn't actually have a real postseason, you have stupidity like money grab conference championship games. So you're going to have this. You're going to have teams like that's going to be the most comical thing is when it happens, because it's going to happen in the Big Ten probably next year. Michigan, Ohio State are going to play the last week of the regular season, and they're going to play a week later in the Big Ten championship game. Oh, that's ruining it. No, what's ruining college football are the greedy money grubbers who have set up all these fake postseason games as nothing more than a money grab, and now it's all going to be exposed for how stupid and senseless it is. Michael Cook, Randy Dabdoob, what's going on? Clegg's Nursery, good morning. Many of us at Clegg's listen regularly. Well, I appreciate that greatly. Appreciate all my friends over at Clegg's. By the way, our Christmas tree that we got at Clegg's this year, gorgeous. People were worried about the Christmas tree selection this year because of the drought this summer. I don't know where Clegg's got their trees from Tree Farm. They're awesome. So shout out. Appreciate everybody over at Clegg's. Great gift ideas as well, Clegg's Nursery. Glenda Blanchard, good morning. Steve Scott, good morning. Anything really shock you about the overall SEC schedule? No, you know what, Steve? I think any of that would have been whenever we learn the opponents, when we learn like which of the traditional games are going away, like LSU Auburn, right? That would have been it. Hey, Dad, good morning. Bubba Smith, Jeff McKithen, David Tolson, Vegas, baby. Dale Broussard, over under for Florida's 3.5. I like the under. Nah, they'll go over that. Rode Yule, what's going on? Josh DeVilliers, does having a 12-team playoff make the opening game not as big of a hit if we don't win? More forgiving. Yeah. I mean, it's plausible that you'll have 10-2 teams in a 12-team playoff. So yes. Well, look, when you play LSU's schedule that they got, if LSU's 10-2 against that schedule, they're in a playoff. Mark Vitanovich, is this Italian guy Tommy DeVito the real deal? Can the Saints upset the Giants in the Dome? So, Mark, wouldn't be an upset. Saints are actually a 6-point favorite in the game Sunday against the Giants. And no, I don't think Tommy DeVito is for real. I think it's a cool story, but it's got a certain, burn rate. Like, eventually, it's going to flame out. Like, the league catches up. Look, we saw this a couple weeks ago with Josh Dobbs, right? Josh Dobbs gets traded from Arizona to Minnesota. He's there for like 2 days. He has to go in the game, and he ends up winning it. He's practicing, snaps with his offensive line on the sideline. And then look what happened. Like, you put film on him, defenses adjust, and then boom. Like, that's going to happen to DeVito as well. Like, the key to success in the NFL is your ability to adjust. It's It's a constant evolution. You can't stay the same. Defenses are always going to show offenses different. Offenses are going to counter. It's your ability to adjust and adjust quickly and effectively. Wendell Norman, Jacob Thompson, Bailey C. I don't love LSU not going for the best players in the portal. That doesn't seem sustainable. Well, Bailey C., it's also not realistic to think you're going to get the best players in the portal, all of them. You have to build through your high school recruiting and supplement through the portal, and that's what they're doing. Glenn Garner, what's up? I've been stocking groceries all night, so tired. Oh, man. Well, hope you get some rest today, man. Appreciate you for all the hard work. Casey Smith, morning, Matt. Let's hear some of that GameCoin info. I only have like 3 minutes left here, and I'm going to need time. Like, it's probably like a Saturday morning Scone or Sunday morning Scone opportunity when I can sit here for 2 hours and talk to you all while everybody's asleep. Not when I've got 3 minutes left. But all good, man. Damon Gilmore, William Moore, Jesse Brown. Do you think the Saints win Sunday? Yes, I do. I think the Giants having to travel on a short week, Monday Night Football, having to travel to New Orleans, against the Saints defense that I still think is talented and going to be able to limit what Tommy DeVito does. My real concern is LSU's ability to stop the run. The Saints' ability to stop the run. And they got Saquon Barkley. So you have two of the worst run defenses in the league. I hope Taysom Hill's healthy. It should help with the Saints running game. But yes, I do think the Saints win at home. Now, I don't think they win at the Rams, and I don't think they win at the Bucs. Jacob Yetu, good morning. Watching from Sacramento. How is New York? Do you think the Saints will take quarterback in the first round? Do not think the Saints take quarterback in the first round. New York was awesome. Trivia Carter, Brant Roban. Schedule looks tough. Wonder if LSU will make the playoffs next season. Brant, it really comes down to two things. Number one, of course, is quarterback. What do you get out of Garrett Nussmeier? And number two is what defensive adjustments have you made? Because if you don't improve dramatically and Nussmeier doesn't play to the level of Jaden Daniels, which it's not realistic to assume that he would, you're a 7-5 football team. Brian Wynn, good morning. Brad David, did they add another bye week because of the extended playoff? No, it's just the way the calendar falls. Jerry G, good morning. Christian, good morning. Do we ever find out if Musso went on a second date? They have not gone on a second date yet. I did ask him yesterday. Tiger Grunt, good morning. Deborah Coward, do we think Malik Murphy lands at USC? Good question. Don't know. Malik Murphy is the backup quarterback at Texas who hit the portal yesterday, so we shall see. Tiger Diver, Brett DeGrow, Bruce Bro, playing in the SEC is always rough. Big Ten teams have found out in the BCS. That's why LSU gets the weight to their rankings. Think about it. It's going to be Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas in the boot. Biggest, good morning, Scone. Asking this again. Where you got that polo button up from the other day, white with blue and red gingham plaid. When I had the red sweater over it, I think Erica got me that at the Polo Outlet. This is a Mizzen and Main shirt. I love Mizzen and Main. I think Mizzen and Main button-ups are the most comfortable shirt, best-looking button-up shirt in the world. I love Mizzen and Main. I have a ton of these. They're expensive. They're not easy to buy all at once, but you buy one every so often, you can build a closet. But otherwise, Erica goes and gets me button-ups at the Polo Outlet at Tanger. Just the performance material, the dry fit material. Finish Strong, is Bama on our schedule every year, or are we going to rotate them in and out? Well, keep in mind, the permanent schedule format has not been announced. This is a 1-year stopgap until they can agree on a permanent scheduling model. There was a big push to go to 9 games. That stalled. I still think we get to 9. But how that looks, 1 permanent, 2 permanents, however it looks, we don't know yet. So the answer to your question is we don't know. But my guess is they're going to keep the Bama game. They seem pretty committed to keeping it. It's a valuable TV product, and they're going to keep it. All right. Moving forward, we always have 2 open dates. No, remember, this happens every 6 or 7 years, however the calendar falls, that you end up with 2 open dates. Jason H., good morning. Antron Hemingway, do the boys play the Longhorns or just the Sooners next year? Just Oklahoma. Everyone was, in the first year Oklahoma and Texas were in the league, every existing SEC member will play one of the 2. And LSU plays Oklahoma at home. Bryce Burks, good morning from Bossier City. Okay. All right, y'all. D. Nicholas, Shane Big Fellow, what's up, y'all? James Avery, appreciate y'all for being with us here. CK, Barry Jocelyn, Antonius Herman. Thanks for doing Morning Scone every morning. You got it, man. Well, thanks for being here. If y'all weren't here every morning watching, I wouldn't be doing it. Jeff Hawk, what's good, my dude? All right. Antron, are you watching Thursday Night Football? If so, what's your prediction? Yes, I love Thursday Night Football, and I'll always watch Thursday Night Football because it's football. So if football's on TV, I'm going to watch football, especially when it's another night like Thursday when there's nothing else on TV. So I will tonight's Chargers Raiders, by the way. I'll wait for Jimmy Ott to tell me what all the sharps are saying to see what my pick is. Okay, I gotta go. 8:03, I'm late. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Y'all have a great day. YouTube, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Appreciate y'all so very much for being here. As always, shout out to Brock. If you need an orthopedist, they're the best. Hudco Roofing, would love to help you out with a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco link is pinned in the chat. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Peace. I hit the wrong button. There it is. Bada bing.